Welcome back to the Bible study series. If this is your first time joining, welcome. You're not late. In fact, this is the perfect place to begin because today's story is where everything changes. In Genesis chapters 3 and 4, we move from the peace of Eden to the pain of separation. But more than that, we begin to understand ourselves and why the world feels broken. So grab your coffee or journal. Let's walk through this slowly, like a father telling a story to his child. You'll see it's not just their story, it's ours too. The garden, the choice, and the fall. In the beginning, God created a beautiful garden called Eden. It was perfect. No fear, no shame, no death. And in that garden lived the first two human beings, Adam and Eve. God walked with them in peace. He gave them freedom to enjoy everything except for one tree, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God said, "You are free to eat from any tree, but you must not eat from that tree, for when you do, you will surely die." Genesis 2:16-17. But one day a serpent appears. This wasn't just any snake. It was the voice of deception. The serpent asked Eve, "Did God really say you can't eat from that tree?" It was the first lie ever told. It planted doubt. Eve looked at the fruit. It was beautiful. She took it, ate it, and gave some to Adam, who was with her. And in that moment, their eyes were opened, but not in the way they expected. They suddenly felt exposed, ashamed. They realized they were naked, and they tried to cover themselves with fig leaves. For the first time, fear entered the human heart. When God came walking in the garden, they hid. God called out, "Where are you?" Genesis 3:9. He knew where they were, but he wanted them to respond. He wanted honesty. When Adam and Eve finally came out, God asked them what happened. Adam blamed Eve. Eve blamed the serpent. No one took responsibility. God didn't yell. He didn't destroy them. But he did speak truth, because sin always has consequences. He told the serpent that one day a child would come who would crush evil. He told Eve that childbirth would now be painful. He told Adam that work would become hard. And then he did something surprising. He made clothes for them. He covered their shame. And then he did something even more heartbreaking. He sent them out of the garden. Why? Because if they stayed, they might eat from another tree, the tree of life, and live forever in a broken state. So God protected them, even as he disciplined them. They left Eden, but not God's presence. The first brothers, Cain and Abel. Now outside the garden, life continued. Adam and Eve had two sons, Cain and Abel. Abel raised animals. Cain worked the land. One day, both brothers brought offerings to God. Abel brought the best of his flock, fat portions from the firstborn. Cain brought some of his crops. God looked with favor on Abel's offering, but not on Cain's. Why? It wasn't about what they gave, it was how. Abel gave from the heart, with trust and honor. Cain gave out of duty. He held back. Cain was angry, jealous, but God spoke to him. "If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you don't, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it." Genesis 4:7. God saw Cain's heart. He warned him, like a father warns his son, but Cain didn't listen. He lured Abel into a field and killed him, his own brother. The first murder in human history wasn't about money or revenge. It was jealousy, pride, unchecked anger. God asked Cain, "Where is your brother?" Just as he had asked Adam, "Where are you?" Cain replied, "Am I my brother's keeper?" And God's heart must have broken. He told Cain that Abel's blood cried out from the ground. But even then, God didn't kill Cain. He marked him for protection so no one would harm him. It's mercy, woven even into judgment. This is more than just ancient history. It's our story too. We've all eaten the fruit, chosen what we wanted instead of trusting God. We've all had Cain moments when jealousy, envy, or resentment took over our better nature. We've all heard God ask us, "Where are you? And where is your brother?" And we have a choice. Will we run from God, or will we return, even in shame, because we trust He'll clothe us again? Here's how this speaks to us today. 1. Sin starts with small lies. The serpent didn't push Eve, he whispered. Doubt is subtle. Pay attention to the little compromises in your heart. 2. God doesn't stop calling. Even when we mess up, He asks, "Where are you?" Not to punish, but to restore. He wants relationship, not religion. 3. You are your brother's keeper. Cain tried to dodge responsibility, but we are called to care, for family, for friends, even for strangers. 4. Offer your best, not your leftovers. Abel gave from the heart. Cain gave from habit. How are we giving to God? Our time, our attention, our love. 5. Mercy is always nearby. Even after the fall, God clothed. Even after murder, God protected. He never gives up on us. Genesis 4:7. Sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it. Write it down. Sit with it. Ask yourself, what's crouching at my door today? You know, when I read this story to my daughter, she asked, "Daddy, if God is so kind, why did He send them away?" And I told her, "Sweetheart, sometimes love says no to protect you." God didn't throw them away. He walked with them outside the garden, and He walks with us still. That's the beginning of real spiritual growth, knowing that even when we fail, we're not abandoned. If you feel far from God today, He's still calling, not to accuse, but to invite. He asks, "Where are you?" You don't have to hide anymore. This is the path of spiritual awakening, the journey of becoming whole, of letting light into the dark places, of choosing love over jealousy, trust over fear, mercy over shame. Next time we'll journey with Noah, a man who chose to walk with God even when the world didn't. So stay with us, one chapter at a time, one step closer to grace. Be sure to join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for more insights into the Old Testament. And don't forget, our New Testament series airs every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. We're just getting started, and I'm excited to continue this journey with you. Take care, and may you experience the peace and presence of God this week. I'll see you in the next episode.